17th century English poet by the name of Robert Herrick, wrote a poem with this title, "To the Virgins to Make Much of Time." And the first of 5 stanzas goes like this. "Gather ye rosebuds while ye may, old time is still a-flying, and this same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying." Robin Williams, in the 1989 major motion picture Dead Poets Society, in the character of an English teacher by the name of John Keating, taught this poem to his English class, and he quoted that first stanza in order to get across to the students 2 Latin words that I believe we're all familiar with: carpe diem, seize the day. Familiar with that? Seize the day. Our former Holy Father, Benedict XVI, now known as Pope Emeritus, he seized the day. It was time for him, he felt, as he got more and more feeble, to withdraw from the chair of Peter. The conclave of cardinals will come together soon to seize the day and hopefully elect for us a new Holy Father who will sit on the chair of Peter. Speaking of which, Father Bryant, the pastor emeritus of Blessed Sacrament Church, told me just not long ago that the kindergarten class at Blessed Sacrament Church came together in conclave this week. Their teacher made these beautiful red hats for them, and the door was truly locked and barred, and they all got these ballots, and they all voted for the next pope from their classmates, of course. And as the teacher counted the ballots, they did have an election, and they elected a girl to be our next pope. Maybe prophetic. Don't think so. Elon Athletics seized the day, or the weekend. Men's and women's basketball both winning, softball, tennis team, major seizing of the day. Elon itself seized this week by blessing and dedicating 4 new buildings. If any of us want to really carpe diem and seize the day for the good work that God has in store for us, then we stand in the shadow of some very great biblical giants. Tonight's readings show us them. Moses, in the desert, minding his business, taking care of his father-in-law Jethro's sheep, all of a sudden sees a natural occurrence, a bush starting to flame up. What is this? Instantaneous combustion, whatever, spontaneous combustion. But it wasn't so natural because the bush itself wasn't burning. It was still there. And from that so-called burning bush came a voice. And it was the voice of God telling Moses to remove his sandals because he was on holy ground. God from the bush proceeded to tell him his name. I am who am. Or as some scholars say, I will be who I will be. In other words, this transcendent God is also a God who is with his people each and every moment. And then Moses, who on his resume only has murder, is commissioned to go forth and liberate his people from slavery in Egypt. Moses seized the day. He took the risk, did what God asked, accomplished the task. St. Paul today in our reading talking to the Corinthians who thought they had it made. They had chosen people-itis, if you give me that license. They thought just because they were baptized, that's all they needed. Paul tells them, be careful, the rug will be pulled right from underneath you. You need to do what God asked you to do, and they rose to the task. They seized the day and became better Christians. Jesus in the gospel is talking to his disciples, saying that bad things happen to good and bad people alike. You just have to repent. You just have to bear fruit. And that fruit is the gift of holiness. You have to be holy. And the fruit we all bear are the fruits of the Spirit. Love, peace, joy, kindness, faithfulness, and that one that is always so elusive to us, patience. We're not so patient, are we? Not with ourselves, not with some other people. Yet, Jesus tells us in the gospel how patient God is with us, as that farmer was with that fig tree, always willing to give us a second chance. Patience. We need to be patient with ourselves. Parents need to be patient with their adult children who choose not to follow in their footsteps. We need to be patient with our institutional church that's seeking perfection in this world. We need to be very patient with our own government as it seeks to cut spending, as we fall from this cliff ready to hit the concrete rock bottom. We need to be patient with ourselves and with so many others. This past Thursday, I had the good fortune of sitting in on a lecture of L.D. Russell, a great religious studies lecturer, great class talking about spirituality and music. But he said he was here teaching 20 years at Elon. And I said, wow, in his 21st year now of teaching students year after year, what patience it takes on his part. And I looked at my 8 years here, so brief, and I've run into so many students who at times feel entitled, who at times are so egocentric, at times so self-serving. And then I come across alum, as were also present during LD's lecture. I come across alum who approach me for counseling, or who want me to do their weddings. And I say, wow, you have changed. You have grown. You have matured. You have come into your own. They were patient with themselves, as we need to be patient with ourselves, and as God is patient with us each and every day as we strive for holiness and selflessness. Moses was asked to remove his sandals because he was standing in God's presence on holy ground. We are on holy ground here. In the Eucharist, that is like the burning bush. Jesus burning with love and affection for us. Jesus burning, trying to show us his mercy and compassion. He asks us each and every moment to seize the day. Carpe diem. Never miss an opportunity to grow in